And then I remember watching after that the comments that unfolded, which went on forever. Then culminating positive improvement, by the way, is the reason the word moist even is synonymous with my name. He's an old friend from like when I first started this, and they debated a whole host of things. It was just terrible though, because positive had all the answers and Mabase had jack shit. He had nothing. His arguments were pretty weak. Even live, he went, it's not the way it is.
Feels before reals.
Totes. In it, blood.
Women protest patriarchy by pretending to be horses galloping around the city.
Oh,
that
the
sounds like
Sweden
so much
thing?
fun.
That was hilarious. That was Sweden. That's hilarious.
I want to do that now. I've had this agreement with Irate Bear that if he comes down to where I live, we're going to go round. We're going to get into my well, when I get it, octopus onesie, full on Omegon gear and everything. Right? He's going to wear my Charmander onesie, and we're going to get on a train, go to 3 towns along, which is like a 15-minute train journey. Go round Dover, and go to Greg's and order a pasty. That's all we're going to do. Oh, and then apparently try and learn to fly because my octopus onesie thing will, when I get it, have wings.
Well, then that's Cthulhu, isn't it? Not.
There's no Cthulhu onesie, so I might just get this and then dye it green. But we're also going to try and have a Pokemon battle in the middle of the park in Dover in our onesies. Yeah. This is top quality content. It may in fact go on YouTube.
Real live
stream a Pokemon battle.
So glad I donate to this.
Yeah. It's worth it for those views.
Yes. If you guys go grab some pasties when the feminists run past you, you can just like look each other in the eye and smash them together lightly.
Oh. There aren't. I don't think there are many where I live. My area is kind of full of old people mostly.
Oh.
They're all demented and yeah, really crazy. There's one guy who's okay, but only just.
Yeah, you've got one in a whole neighborhood.
Oh, this is what you mentioned, Andrew. Okay, let's see. Give me a second.
So I'm
share it
now.
Yeah.
I'll screen share it in a sec once my browser catches up.
I couldn't help but think that the protesting patriarchy by pretending to be horses, does that mean you can't get a woman to go anywhere unless you smack their ass and ride them around?
Oh God, you can't make it up. Women protest patriarchy by pretending to be horses and galloping around the city. They found the only unhot women in all of Sweden. That's a feminist rodeo. Okay, I'm going to take it and find out.
Oh my God, that's
Don't
great.
forget your saddle, guys.
You want me to hear the sound, but the only oh my God, they're actually galloping. They're galloping.
Do you know what would make that a million times better? Like people be human ponies. You can buy like My Little Pony coloured like horsetail butt plugs.
Dude, if they'd gotten like My Little Pony onesies, they'd have been more convincing.
Actually, am I missing? I'm not quite understanding what the point of this is.
I honestly don't know how to answer it.
I wonder
here
if
we
you ride a feminine side saddle.
Oh my God, that'd be amazing. I would actually like if I saw these girls running around, trotting around. I would put on my cowboy hat I got from Poundland 11 years ago. It's all Christmassy, right? I run up behind him and do what this guy did on a show called Balls of Steel, and he's called Nedge, and he ran up behind people. We called it Euro Rodeo or Shopping Mall Rodeo, and he'd run up to somebody and jump on their back and start rodeoing them and going yeehaw, and try and see how long he could do it for. I do it to these girls. I reckon they'd go for at least a second before they scream patriarchy.
No, it'd be rape. They'd yell rape first.
Oh God. If any particular ideology took credit for the eventual demise of Western civilization, radical feminism will have as strong a case as any. It's more extreme adherents like the ones who galloped around Stockholm, Sweden. Oh, pretend to be horses to protest the patriarchy would no doubt be thrilled at the accomplishment.
Why horses?
Why not horses? They're majestic and beautiful, and they can kick a man unconscious or dead. Even. I wonder if any of these girls could kick.
Is it
Although when the
wild
patriarchy is dead, the world will be ruled by unhot women who gallop around like horses.
As I said, they don't look particularly majestic and graceful.
No.
This is just the
I'd say a
apparently.
gorilla.
This is apparently a rehearsal for the main event in the 7-kilometer rally, where participants gallop past several of the capital's horse statues. They've got horse statues, of course. It's meant to be some sort of point about the horse as a symbol of power. Well, horses are very powerful. Horsepower cars makes sense. When you look at the city and the sculpture we have, there are a few men on horses and other men. Most women who are naked and quite small. Well, that's hot. Unlike you.
Yeah, but
Want to
a
start debate about
car,
public space? Okay.
they should dress up as cars because they have multiple horsepower and are more capable of killing people.
I love this. Right. Okay. So. Yeah. They've got here like you've got let's ignore this for a second. You got this protest here in Malmo. I know where that is. Protest an epidemic of Muslim violence. Sweden is the rape capital of the world now, isn't it? But then to protest it, you really want to do it violently like this? Oh dear.
Yeah.
Oh my god, no, Muslim demonstration in Malmo. Hang on, I assume these are counter protesters then, since they're all wearing their non-oppressive hijabs.
Yeah.
Is it wrong to say they look kind of like an army of ninjas?
They are the shittest ninjas ever. I can see them.
Yeah.
Every throwing card they throw is halal.
Oh well, absolutely. Did you hear that guy in America who's suing a pizza place for not serving halal meat pizza?
What? Oh my god, I'm gonna try to find this.
I remember reading it. It was some stupid. It was a pizza. Caesars. Oh fuck it!
Little Caesars.
Yeah.
But I don't want to click on Snopes because Snopes is biased as fuck.
Sweden is the most prominent matriarchy. What the hell is this protest about? No, Sweden is the world's most prominent rape culture.
Detroit, by the way.
Is it? Oh, shocker.
A Muslim man is suing Little Caesars Pizza for $100 million after he said he was giving and accidentally ate a pizza containing pork pepperoni despite ordering halal pepperoni. So he got the wrong order.
I want to know if the pizza tasted good.
I
there was
shared.
A thing,
I shared.
a year ago. Brilliant. I'll check that in a second. Wild Bill for America a year ago did this thing where he kind of insulted Michigan a bit, and he said, as the Detroit News, yeah. Right.
Yeah.
And he said that they should build a wall around Michigan and turn it into a theme park called Land. Yeah. And it was because of he thought that was it was something to do with the population of Muslims in
Oh my god.
Jihadi land. He wanted to turn it into a theme park and leave it at that, which I thought was sad, amusing as well.
And then the second link I shared had to do with the Yik Yak. Some people were suing to have the university block Yik Yak on the school Wi-Fi.
Okay, we'll check
because there was some overly sexist and something comments.
Okay, so
Yik Yak?
I mean, the Yik Yak's gonna be shutting down anyway, so
I don't even know what it is.
Oh, don't worry about it then.
What did the guy order to begin with?
Okay, I'll Google it.
Yeah.
I want to know what the guy ate. I want to know what he ordered to begin with. Because if he ordered he accidentally ate a pizza containing pork pepperoni. Did they do different types of pepperoni, or was it pork anyway?
It's pork.
I thought.
Yeah, like what's halal pepperoni?
With halal pepperoni. But it has
I'm gonna
pork.
see if
They don't eat pork, do they?
Right, so I guess what's in halal pepperoni then?
Can someone Google that?
Yeah.
'Cause I don't
Halal
know
beef
if that's true,
pepperoni. Product
That
ingredients.
seems like a lot of effort to go to for a
Halal
$5
beef.
pizza.
Yeah, it's just whatever halal beef is.
That sounds not as delicious as pork.
No.
pepperoni.
That isn't really pepperoni then.
No, it's not.
It's like bacon. You can get turkey bacon and beef bacon, which are then Muslims can eat those. They can eat bacon by definition, but I've had both. They are turkey bacon is okay,
Right, but it doesn't
alright.
taste like bacon.
If you're in like if you're prepping for a marathon or training for a boxing match or something, it's okay for a diet. Beef though, no. Bacon, no, never. Bad.
It doesn't sound
Like
like
drugs
it
and
would work.
It does not, and it's rather disturbing.
I have tried the corn bacon as well, which is awful.
I always find it fascinating. Certainly over the last 2 years, I've heard this quite a lot. Every time there's been a case where some company's been sued for millions, it always involves some overly triggered Muslim. Like, okay, for example, a Muslim cashier refused to serve a customer because they're not allowed to touch the alcohol or the pork, even though the alcohol's in a bottle and the pork was wrapped in plastic. And it's like, and I think there was obviously initial complaint, and the concession was that they would be moved to a different area, but instead it got escalated.
Like in places like the Maldives or other Muslim tourist countries, like the tourists visiting can consume alcohol and eat whatever the fuck they want. It's just that the Muslims living there can't, but they could still like prep it for them, I guess, or something. I don't know exactly.
How
It's
does that
like-
make sense? They're not allowed to touch it if they're observing, but if I can make a few dollars off these stupid Americans, that's whatever the hell I want. That is almost like a prostitute saying, you know what, I can get these other guys off for this other prostitute, but I can't compete. That's awful. I can't even believe it. Or me as a vegan being like, I can't eat meat, but I can cut and make meat.
Oh God, you are a vegan as well. I remember.
Yeah,
the messaging.
I remember you watched fucking crazy old vegan gains or whoever it was.
Jack
There is a massive difference between like real life vegans and crazy YouTube vegans.
So I remember this because after I made my video, I got a hell of a lot of feedback from people who disagreed with some of the terms, phrases, responses I used. Although I think some dumb American did say "my bacon" a few times, which I thought was rather amusing. I know it's not an argument, but I thought it was funny.
Well, if it weren't for the fact that is basically everyone's argument, like she said it in a way that was delivered pretty amusing, but a lot of times it's just a fat slobbering redneck that likes to go, "What my bacon?
My bacon."
You should have killed yourself long ago.
I often wonder after watching many videos of rednecks doing really stupid shit, how the fuck they haven't wiped themselves off the face of the earth yet.
Because it works.
Actually, there's a pretty strong thing around it. Because they surround themselves with other rednecks, and they make this bubble, right, where everything they intake just pushes everything else. They're like an immune system of stupidity. If you try to interject with any form of intelligence, they just go, "Well, that right there's the non-Jesus believer. Let's go ahead and kill him with a rope."
Rednecks are special.
I watched a video of a redneck. The video was called like burning out tires or something outside a church. What they actually did was not only burnt out the tires, but disintegrated the entire rim, the alloy rims on the back as well. And they didn't stop, and they dug these huge craters into the tarmac. The rear wheel's non-existent, and the frame that holds the wheel and everything else was bright red and singeing.
That's a special kind of stupid.
Yeah, but then I also watched one take a bed mattress, the springs and the metal wiring, and attach a fucking mountain of fireworks, and stand back and roll off this wire and attach and poured like a small amount of what looked like out of a jug, a ceramic jug, must have been moonshine, and lit it. and then ran for cover. The whole thing was like a great display of fireworks, and then after about 2 minutes, bang!
Oh,
It
man.
was insane. How are these guys alive?
Oh, grace of God.
Just reminds me of that film. Was that film Idiocracy? Remember that film?
Handed his arm the race is better off.
So yeah, the second link I showed was the Yik Yak thing, and then the fourth
Yeah,
one
I'm just
was
pulling it up.
and then the fourth one was that Evergreen State University thing, the day of absence, where the one professor didn't leave because he was like they were trying to kick all the white people off of campus for a day.
So what is Yik Yak?
Okay, so Yik Yak is this app that allows you to anonymously post messages or just like stuff to a board or whatever based on your geographic location. So typically you see them at like schools, colleges, and universities where people just post anonymous shit all the time. And that's basically what Yik Yak is. And people can respond to the individual posts. I think the individual posts are called yaks. I don't know.
Okay.
It's been a while.
So members of the group Feminists United at the University of Mary Washington filed a lawsuit against the university and its former president. The plaintiffs allege that the university violated Title 19 of the 14th Amendment when they did not take sufficient action against offensive speech by male students at the university. If this is an anonymous app,
right? I don't fucking know.
Because according to feminists, females can't be offensive.
Oh, this is the whole females are perpetual victims and the males are the perpetual offenders.
Yeah.
Yeah, reverse sexing isn't a thing, you guys.
Okay, unless they are able to access or gain access through, if it's anonymous, I don't even know if the app itself would hold on to information pertaining to the gender of the person leaving the comments.
Yeah, I don't even know.
There is sufficiency of evidence support. I'm sorry, but if they say it's because, but that guy looked at me weird, that's not evidence.
Right.
Yeah, but what if you
overly sexist and or threatening, or if they're not sexist, they might just be comments.
Yeah. Basically, they want them to block Yik Yak on the school's Wi-Fi, but that doesn't stop. That doesn't. Yeah, that doesn't stop. What's it called? People from going to switching to their mobile or using a VPN or something to.
Well, yeah. I mean, if they're using the mobile or cell to begin with, then they can't infringe upon that anyway without introducing cell phone law.
I don't even know. It's people are butthurt.
Oh, hang on. They mentioned something here of interest. Fire. You remember that?
Yeah.
Because we were looking at this earlier, where Princeton is red with regards to freedom of speech.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
how lovely.
What, fire?
Yeah.
Fire is the foundation of individual rights in education. They're basically a
non-profit campus civil liberties group.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, that's what the article says. So they do a lot of looking at schools' policies and stuff and giving them either green light, yellow light, or red light rating, depending on if they protect free speech, inhibit free speech, or affect a student's civil rights in any way. So if they have something related to Title IX, where like students aren't allowed to have certain liberties or whatever, then they would give that a certain rating or whatever.
We have a similar thing in the UK, or whether or not it's the same thing or not, I don't know. But we have our campuses ranked or rated with regards to levels of free speech in the same way as the way that Fire operates. And quite a number of our campuses are going red now, which means they're not pro-free speech.
I mean, your government is going red, like with Theresa May wanting to block porn or something.
That's not going to happen. She wants to curtail free speech as well, and on the internet and stuff. It's like, no, it's not happening. But I think she's already had to turn her back on a few of the initial policies because she realized that she didn't have to do much to beat Corbyn. She only needs to beat Corbyn, so she needs to stop trying to push these elitist ideas.
She needs to not be a crazy one.
She hasn't even. Right. Okay, so somebody asked me on Twitter, "What do I think of Theresa May?" And I thought, I could make that into a video, or I can simply sum it up as she's an unelected head of state that has called for an election that she didn't really have much of a problem winning, but has somehow managed to fuck it up to the point where Corbyn could, in fact, become the next prime minister.
If that
Are
happens,
you
then you guys are
fucking
fucked.
kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? Corbyn. He will actually bend over and let Merkel stick her beer jug up his ass. He would, and it won't be an empty jug. It will have at least 2 to 3 pints of beer in it, German beer. So he'll not only be wasted, but he'll sign whatever she tells him to sign.
Yeah.
Because
And then with
bitch.
Corbyn, you guys might actually he'll attempt to undo Brexit.
Oh my god. Okay, so when Brexit happened, most, if not all, of my friends on Facebook
Oh god.
got incredibly salty. In fact, I put one comment up. I'm going to go and get my shovel now because the salt in my timeline is immense.
I mean,
And I got.
I'm an American.
And
Those too many people were butthurt. It was hilarious.
It went on for days, and I ended up muting every single one of my friends. My timeline is now totally empty, and I love it.
2 people I know had a massive row and ended up blocking each other. Like, I'm never going to speak to you again over this because they disagreed so much.
Well, one of my cousins one of my cousins got really, really angry, and he's like, I'm going to move to Canada. And I said to him, I hear Toronto's great for employment opportunities. And he goes, fuck you voted exit. And I'm like, yes, I voted exit. Now go to Canada and piss off. I hear gingers are really welcome over there.
Oh my god. Yeah.
He would actually renege. He would turn around and tear up the Article 50. He would beg the EU to let us back in. And of course, if that happened, you know damn well the EU will then say, right, well, you were once one of the more powerful nations. Now it's time to see how hard and how deep we can fuck you and all your people.
They're trying to get you to like pay money or something to leave to like
90 billion euros or 100 billion euro divorce bill. It's not happening.
Right, because without the UK, they're losing a significant chunk of the money.
The silly thing really is that
manage the money.
the EU is the one losing out because the UK was one of 3 nations propping the EU up.
Yeah.
They can ask for 100 billion, 100 million, or whatever it is, 100 billion. Yeah.
I think it's 100 billion.
It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
20, I think that's what the figure. Final figure.
Really, it's 120 now because it started at 50.
It just reminds me of something out of Austin Powers, 120 billion.
Oh yeah, $1 million, $1 million.
I still do it with the little finger still.
I just did it with a little finger. I hadn't realised.
Oh, I can't believe it's the social consciousness is so much that I'm still doing meetings. 1 million.
Goddamn robot. Who's roboting? So I'm looking at the chat. Thrax is saying that.
I think it's Rubber Band. His mic is like picking up all the little shits.
It might be mine for all I know.
No, I think it's his.
Oh, okay.
This little green thing is appearing under him.
Oh, okay. What's the little green thing? Let me see.
Like, if you're looking at the Hangout screen,
yeah.
It like whenever somebody's speaking, a little green bar or circles.
Oh yeah, I see it.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's see if I can fix that a little.
Yeah. He might have to change his input sensitivity. I don't know if you can do that with Google Hangouts.
No, all I can do in control panel is turn volume up or down and turn on cameras. Which is not happening. I'm not doing that.
Nobody wants to see that.
They don't really want to know how true I really am to my avatar.
I don't even think I have a camera plugged in right now. So it would do nothing.
Sorry?
I don't even have a camera plugged in, so...
I use this magical device called Blue Tack.
I've just
I
disabled
just stick
mine.
it over the camera lens.
No.
Is blue tack just the English version of masking tape?
No, it's a putty.
Oh, okay. So a more permanent version of masking tape.
Yeah, it's a reusable putty you can stick posters on walls with and stuff.
Okay, yeah.
Use a lovely mark on the wall after it's done.
Oh well, that's when you use white tack. Okay, so when I was I got a story. When I lived on campus, I lived in Constable Terrace, and my room when I got there it was immaculate except for the ironing mark on the floor, which we'll come back to later. And after a year of me getting drunk a lot, me throwing up a lot, many colours in fact, my carpet was green originally, ended up being purple at one point, snake bite, and ended because I couldn't get any of the marks off being bright yellowy white because I bleached it with toilet bleach.
Oh my god.
But the only thing that survived was, and on the wall there were cracks and chips, and like there's a corner that sticks out that I'd actually taken a chunk out of, and we used white tack with a ruler to make a new wall edge. And fill in all the cracks, we used white tack instead of getting someone out to repair the fractures. And the carpet, nobody complained about the colour of the carpet, even though it didn't match any of the other rooms in the house. No. I got a bloody bill for the fucking iron mark. The one thing I didn't do. I didn't get billed for the damage to the walls.
Better.
Yeah. I didn't get paid damages for the carpet. No, but I did pay damages for the iron mark that was created by the previous tenant.
So
when I left, I did this thing because I got that bill just before I left. I decided to get a UV pen, and I went around the entire room drawing swastikas everywhere.
Oh my god!
There was a lovely little black light in the corner. Yes, I know the person who got that room next, and she did confirm. Yes, those swastikas were still there when she left.
Oh my god!
If I'm going to pay for a new carpet, I'm going to fucking make sure I get my money's worth.
Omegon is literally Hitler.
My freshman
I
year,
am literally.
The building I lived in, it was like 6 rooms to a little wing with a shared bathroom. One of these times, my freshman year, somebody decided that they were going to get really, really drunk and punch a hole in the stall behind a toilet and then puke in it. Let's just say that because they couldn't prove who did it, everybody got the bill for it on that floor, which is really annoying, though.
We had this. Okay, so I lived with about 4 or 5 people for about 5 years. 2 years in one house, and then 3 years. Oh shit! Someone Skype's called me. Fuck off. And I lived with some of the same people for 3 years in another house. But the other house, there was an issue when we left. We decided to carpet clean all the carpets, which we'd never done before. We'd never had any issues. The house was perfect, except my room. When a day later we noticed that the entire room smelled like urine. And we're like, we don't get this. We went around the entire room sniffing this carpet, only to discover somebody had spent a lot of time pissing on this floor. To the point where when we lifted the carpet, it had embedded in the floorboards, and we lost our deposit because of it. Now, my housemate's note wasn't me because I was working nights, so I was never asleep there. I was always asleep downstairs on the sofa because I was too lazy to do shit.
And too lazy to go up to your bed.
Essentially, to me, there was a bathroom downstairs, a kitchen, and a living room, and they were all like right next to each other, and nobody ever used the living room, so the sofa was there, and I'm like, yes,
this is my bed now.
Exactly. It's when my housemates brought Nerf guns in, would attack me, which happened quite often.
We've got a student house opposite us, and a couple of years ago there was a huge to-do because someone put a load of lit fireworks through the front door.
Oh, really? Oh, my God.
That's great.
Oh,
And the whole place had to be gutted. It must have taken them 6 months to sort it out.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
floor was burnt. It literally off its
I've never done anything that vindictive. I mean, I went to a beer festival in Norwich and I paid a guy £2 to make me a balloon top hat because he was doing balloon stuff and it looked amazing. But one of my housemates, she was terrified of balloons, which let's just not get into that. It's ridiculous. And so
allergic
I had to go and
latex?
give popping. I had to go and there's more to it, I'm sure, but I'll tell you something I did to get her back up this. I had to go and give my hat away. So I saw this really hot girl and I was like, how you doing? She ignored me. I put my top hat on her, got her number, walked away. Yeah, that's right. The top hat did it. A few weeks later, it was my housemate's birthday, and I decided, I know, I've got a fantastic idea. After having to give up my top hat, I'm going to fill the entire living room with balloons and shove her in there and lock the door. Which I did.
Oh,
Oh, I felt so good.
you're such a nice person.
I can't believe for a second she lived with me for 5 years without smacking me around the face once.
I used to work for a company in the emergency control room for a place that owned student accommodation, and we used to get some spectacular calls because it was all first years, first time they'd ever lived away from home, and some of the stuff that went on.
Right.
We had a property up in Scotland just outside Edinburgh, and the fire brigade got so pissed off with being called out there. Someone let a firework off. It was a resident. It was about 2:00 in the morning. The fire brigade marched in, hauled everyone outside the main gates of the halls, locked the gates and said, you're not going back in until someone owns up to it. And this was like the beginning of November, and they're all out there shivering in like their pajamas and stuff. And they were out there for sort of 2-3 hours.
I'll tell you the two nastiest things I ever did. The first one's, I'll admit, is a dick move, but there was a reason. So the same housemate who was afraid of balloons started hanging out with some Wiccan people, and they convinced her to go vegan. Fine. That's absolutely fine. I don't mind. It lasted 6 weeks, and it only lasted 6 weeks. Probably would have ended sooner. Technically, it ended after 2 weeks because her boyfriend and I switched all of her vegan meat replacements with actual meat.
And she couldn't tell the difference.
She couldn't tell the difference.
I mean,
I've
there is a
had
difference.
There is an obvious difference, but she couldn't. And we're absolute. I mean, I was an absolute cunt back then. I really was. I couldn't stand the alternatives. And so she'd make soups, and I'd put the remnants from the roast chicken greases into her soups. And she found out about all of this and pretended to be indignant until I held out a meat feast pizza and she just dribbled all over it. Yeah, that was nice. And the second time, they locked me out by accident all night. So I decided to make them a cake with laxative and then jimmy the locks on both the doors and leave the house for the day. They all went for a crap behind the shed at the end of the garden.
Oh, fuck.
I was such a dickhead back then.
That is a cunt thing to do.
It really was.
People's bowel movements.
Oh, it was. One of them actually. The boyfriend, in fact, said he said he hadn't felt that good in years. I was like, oh, fantastic. I've helped you clean your system out. That's brilliant. Right. By the way, I lived back then next to an old people's home, and there were windows behind the brick wall fence. I guarantee you, some of those old people were hearing noises. It was something.
Yeah.
Oh, I was not a nice guy.
You were a dick.
I was a dick.
I don't think I could have been friends with you after that.
we all gave as good as we got. Like they got me back whenever we were drunk. They'd do something. One of them did. What's that thing where you
Well, why are you
they
telling those stories?
involve me being the victim, and I don't like that. And well, okay, I'll tell you the one they did actually gaffer taped taped a bottle of drink to my mouth. It was like a 40-ounce or 20-ounce to my mouth, and I had to finish it. All the while in the middle of the town centre with 2 gigantic dildos gaffer taped to my hands. Do you see why
You
I
probably
had to get them
deserved
back?
it.
I don't know. This is what led me to make sort of led me to start making the cake kind of thing, along with being locked out. It's just one of those things. Oh, escalates. It's hilarious. I don't mind.
So they deserved it.
Oh yeah, we all deserved to be smacked around the face. What's this? Oh, I can share that. I heard about this. The professor, because there was I'll present to everyone. There was I think Jeff Holiday on his YouTube Saints thing. He chopped up a 1 hour 20-minute clip of the dean of this university discussing with those students of color the idea, and I kind of think that they're all retarded if they want to deny someone education.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah,
Matt Groening harassed the professor. Are you kidding? Who refused to leave for the annual day of absence. Thing is, they
usually
changed the system.
Yeah,
It's
usually
not meant to be
it's
day of
color.
anti-white. Yeah, exactly.
Usually
It's
it
not meant to be.
Usually it was non-white people leaving, so that
Exactly.
white people would learn how much life would suck without black people, pretty much.
I want to see what Matt Groening said. Where is it? I want to see it. Did he actually say something? It's mentioned here.
It's kind of ridiculous in my
harassed.
opinion, as is most of the things.
What's this Washington Times report? Let's see what they say. Oh, that's probably what it's called, Evergreen Terrace now. It makes more sense.
Oh, I looked up that school. That school has a red speech code rating.
Fucking shock.
For obvious reasons.
Matt Groening is actually from Springfield, Oregon, like a couple 100 miles south of where I am at. I'm in Portland, and I've met him.
I feel for you.
Yeah,
that sucks. I'm sorry to hear that.
Well, yeah, I'm not even gonna be like it's not nice. It's not.
I'm from New Jersey, so I get all the kind of crazy shit.
It kind of calls me
This is
back to
silly.
when you were saying you've never seen somebody more food triggered than the Muslims. I live in Portland, and let me tell you, if there's some food slips in somebody's fucking vegan burrito, I have heard like hour-long tirades from these people about how a little bit of cheese was found in one bite of their thing, and it violates all their doctrines of veganism. Usually if I find cheese in my burrito, I'll just fucking eat it. I already paid for it.
Oh, didn't you? Portland also had the place with the 2 ladies who went to Mexico to learn how to make really good burritos.
And
then
they
came
closed it
back.
down because of cultural appropriation.
Yeah.
Yeah, they shuttered that business because of those people. And I love their burritos, and I'm triggered.
Yeah, the burritos are actually an American thing.
Yeah, they
Wow.
learned how to make good tortillas or whatever.
This is interesting. This is the email confirming that he would not be not be absent on that day. That's interesting. I'm not going to show any more of that because there was an email address on that. I don't want to accidentally get in trouble there. Praise hell. Well, of course they did, because they're little children.
It's already on Twitter.
Yeah.
2 white women
true.
accused of cultural appropriation shut down their Oregon burrito shop.
Okay. They recorded the harassment of Weinstein. Dear God.
Share that
Apparently,
link.
they applauded their bravery of surrounding and yelling at a professor. Tries to reason. Because a student got campus security out to get rid of them, didn't they? There's a difference between debate and dialect. So debate. Second, debate means you're trying to win. Dialect means you are using a disagreement to discover what is.
Right, he was basically trying to have a discussion with the students as opposed to them just yelling
Yeah.
at him. and they wouldn't
Yeah.
even let him answer anything. Like they didn't even let him like speak
Okay,
his
we go.
side.
We don't care what terms you want to speak on. This is not about you. We are not talking on terms. You're on terms of white privilege. It's not a discussion. You have lost that one.
Basically, my
And we
white
went back to
privilege. It's
Yeah.
retarded as fuck. Like, oh, because I'm white, I can't speak to anything. Like feminists use the same arguments when it comes to like abortion. Like, only women can speak on abortion. So basically, all of the men, specifically white men, because why the fuck not, in Congress can't speak on abortion at all or anything. It's like, no.
Docs of students defending him and schools remaining mum. Oh, lovely, nice. That's progressive. Single, yeah. It's very intolerant. I would agree with this. Also, you go to university. This is one of those really annoying arguments. I remember when Sargon did that petition for to ban social justice courses. Now, I don't care if you want to go to university to study social justice as a part of, I don't know, history. But I do take issue with the fact that the degree doesn't really carry much benefit in society. But the argument, I was going to go somewhere with that, and I've completely forgotten my point. Fuck it. There was like a stupid little point about you go. Oh yeah, that's it. Right. So some of the main topics people were covering were reasons you go to uni, and everyone seemed to completely ignore the fact you don't go there for anything other than to learn. Unless, of course, the university provides other things like entertainment, that's fine. But you go to learn. You don't go there, though, in lectures to learn. You go to take notes. Your learning is done in your free time. What's the purpose of a university? If it's private, like Princeton, it's not really to provide much as far as education goes, even though it has a reputation for being something that provides fantastic, I don't know, education, I guess. But instead, the purpose is to make money. And that seems to be lost in translation as well, which is why they pander to these groups, even though these groups are not a wide group of people. They're quite small, in fact. It's somewhat surprising, really. Incredibly. It's the whole vocal minority thing, which is why I, again, I don't take issue with social justice courses as long as they exist within a proper degree, not some fake-ass degree that doesn't really bear much in the real world besides going, you're a victim. Everyone but the straight white man.
I have issues with the social justice courses when they don't use fact, or when they like.
That's exactly why I would incorporate it into history, because I think it'd be very interesting to look at it from a historical perspective of how social justice has changed over time as a module, not as an entire course. Fuck that. They don't deserve an entire course.
Yeah, but who sets parameters for a degree for social justice? Because aren't degrees supposed to kind of set you up with, I don't know, a career of some sort? And there's only so long you can
That's the
go.
whole point of higher education, and there've been debates on whether or not higher education should be publicly funded or not, or whether it should be free or not. And I don't believe that university should be free. I don't think everyone should have. I think everyone should have access to it if they're good enough. I think there should be standards, and it should be a personal choice to want to go further, because the government or education system, basic education system, provides you with just enough to, get by, I guess. But if you want to do more, I mean, that's not to say that people can't. Yeah, let's not talk about your education's fucked. But in this country, it's not so bad. And the whole point of university is that if you want to go further or be more, even though that many have in fact gone further without going to university, you can go to university and get something more specific or tailored to that career. Social justice is not a career. Social justice is a guaranteed way to want to eventually kill yourself.
Or make other people kill you.
Yeah, and I've had this argument with people who actually think uni should be free, and I'm like, no, because then everyone's just going to go anyway.
Like, university could be free if, like, we were actually investing in useful topics for people to study at college. But there's so many useless things that exist.
The thing is, not everyone's cut out for uni either.
Yeah, that I've noticed that when I was at uni, that you start with like 200 people on the degree, but when you finish, it's like 30.
I lasted 6 weeks.
I
was like, I can't do this.
I know some people who had the same problem. Some did leave, some powered through as long as they could, but eventually they had to walk away because it's too much. For me, I just lived in the library. But the other thing, what our government does, there are bursaries and grants given to people who achieved higher grades at A level, or what you'd call, I think, senior year in high school. That's around about the same age range. And
Like 17,
so
18.
17, 18, yeah.
Yeah.
And so for us, the that incentive to get assistance financially would help you at university, because you get little bursaries every year, and it would alleviate some of the burden of being a drunk at uni, because that's what you're meant to be.
So burdensome.
I once found out after 3 years that I was entitled to a £600 bursary every year because of my low income status from home. I didn't know this, and the university back paid it, and I spent £1,800 in 3 days with my housemates, getting well and truly wrecked. But we threw a kick-ass party, and I bought a really nice guitar.
So, do you guys have, or are you familiar with community colleges?
Mm-hmm.
So,
We
in
just
New
call them
Jersey,
polytechnics.
something that I like is that, all right, it's still going on, is that we have an NJ STARS program, which is people or students who in their junior or senior year in high school are within the top 15% of their class at either the end of the junior or senior year, have the ability to go to community college for free. And that's only the 2-year degree, and it's good for getting you started, but it's given to people who actually achieve, as opposed to the bottom, like, few percent of people who probably won't be able to do much or won't be able to survive. So, like, that's something useful for people. Then you're actually able to give money to people who are smart, but might not necessarily be able to afford it and could do stuff with their degree.
Mm-hmm. I like the idea of community college. But we have open university, which is as well, which is one of those things where you learn in your own time. It's also cheaper than going to university. So if you've got a full-time job, you can do open university and study while you're working, which is really useful. And I would encourage anyone that wants to go to uni but can't afford it to do that instead, because you don't lose your life then.
I looked at doing that, and because of like my disabilities and stuff, you get huge amounts of grants and that by like equipment and stuff. So I'm still kind of tempting, but my problem is deciding what to do.
I was considering doing a separate degree on animation, because I would love to. I don't know, something about watching Undoomed, and I was like, if I had a fully animated avatar, that'd be the coolest thing ever. But I was like, how do I go about it? I could start with some animation courses, because I've done animation in the past, but not to that level. You'd have to work up to it. And I thought, I could probably do some open, even though I don't need another degree. Why not? It's not like I'm going anywhere.
I think when I looked at it before, you can just pick and choose modules that you want to do. You don't
Yeah, you
have
can,
to do
you can.
a full degree.
No, it's true. You can. That'd be very useful for a lot of people.
Because I mean, I guess I'm kind of lucky in the respect that I can do something that interests me rather than something that would help me get a job, because I've got no chance of being able to go back to work. I'm probably more likely to commit to actually studying if it's something that I really want to do.
I'd like a degree in drinking whiskey, and a degree in eating my microphone when I accidentally headbutt it.
I minored in that.
Yeah.
Tasty.
It tastes like pop filter. So, was there anything else interesting happening that we could talk about?
I don't know what else is going on in the world.
What is this?
I don't know. Do you guys want to partake in the whole Sargon versus Thunderfoot drama that everybody's talking about?
Has that not died down yet?
Sargon video. Number 2.
I still love that people disagree with Sargon just disagree with him because they don't like him. It's so.
I think Sargon's pretty articulate. Like, I have a habit of just following YouTubers, even if I don't really agree with them, if they're just well spoken. Like, I'll even sometimes go and watch Tim Blake's videos because he's articulate. I don't really agree with him, but he's kind of funny.
Either, his videos drip with autism. That makes me laugh.
What does autism taste like?
I don't know. I'd rather not taste it in case I accidentally get infected with it.
Yeah,
Ask 4chan.
Oh, it tastes like,
4chan. Fuck me, that'll start a debate.
it tastes like Four Loko. It's got to.
I bet it does. What am I doing? Here we go.
Apparently, your police have released pictures of the UK bomber with the blue suitcase.
There are lots of information released about that now because it was leaked, and Theresa May was angry, and she was angry with Trump, and yeah, fantastic.
Oh goodness!
It's somebody inside the Trump administration that doesn't like Trump that meant to make Trump look bad.
Yeah, and that's fine. I mean, I don't care.
Like it probably wasn't actually Trump that ordered the leak. It's people that hate Trump that are somehow working for him that are releasing stuff.
Yeah, but of course the ball stops at him, so he takes the blame. It's where any movement or group has a leader, the ball stops at them. I don't really care that the information was released, to be honest. I mean, I'm happy it was actually as well, in the sense that, you know, that person needs to be shamed, and also motivation needs to be found out, and a way needs to be found to stop it. That kind
Apparently,
of recruitment ISIS crap needs to die.
France's President Macron stood next to Russian President Vladimir Putin on Monday and publicly accused the Kremlin of coordinating lying propaganda against him in the French election.
Yeah, I heard about that. I heard about the journalism. I saw it on a little ad that popped up when I was checking my mail earlier, when I got sent that PhD dissertation, which had me in stitches. Which we could talk about a little. Sorry, did I speak over someone?
No. I was just gonna say that the whole Trump thing is so mind-blowingly. It's exhausting to listen to nowadays. I can't escape it on my Twitter because I don't know. 90% of my friends are liberals who are just outraged that a businessman made office. But
I live in New Jersey. Yeah, I border by Pennsylvania.
Oh,
yeah,
so you walk out the door.
Yeah, I need to go to like rural Pennsylvania if I want to get away from people.
Yeah, you should consider it. It must be terrible around there for anti-Trump stuff.
Yeah, well, I'm surprised that we've been having a shit ton of stuff with the Trump Care or the Affordable Care Act or
the replacement of Medicare, Obamacare.
Yeah, there's been a bunch of shit with Republican Congress people.
Well, didn't it initially Trump, when he finally read it, he said that he agreed with some parts of it, so he wanted to remove the bits he didn't like and replace it with other things.
Right. There was some stuff that should stay, like being able to stay in your parents' insurance till 25 or 26, not being able, or like not being barred from insurance because of pre-existing conditions, or not being setting price caps on stuff, like the good shit. But the fines for not getting health insurance, that's bad. Like, you're going to basically have people, if they don't get insurance, make them pay money, and they're still not getting insurance.
Okay, so that brings up an interesting point. Last week in the video I made, there was that Miss USA, and she talked about healthcare is a privilege, not a right.
Right.
And in my country, that's not the case because we have socialized healthcare.
Yeah, I think U.S. is one of the few countries in the West that doesn't have socialized healthcare.
It's one of the
we have Medicaid and Medicare, which is healthcare for the poor and the old.
There was a comment that's in the in one of the articles, and it said that healthcare is a privilege, not a right, because healthcare is a learned skill. And then it went on to talk about how those that then practice medicine are essentially slaves if it's a right.
I've thought about it that way. It's an interesting concept.
No, I hadn't either, but I kind of got the point. I don't necessarily agree entirely because of obviously I can't come at it from a neutral stance because I've got free healthcare. Well, not free because we all contribute. Well, it is, but everyone chips in through national insurance. So, and we do have private. We do have that if those would choose it, but you still pay national insurance regardless. That goes towards state benefits and your state pension.
But that's a percentage of your income then? Or...
national insurance, I think national insurance starts, there are bands for it. It starts after, it's not the same as taxes. You start paying this at around about £5,000, taxes around about £10,000. So because I'm self-employed, I pay about £150 a year in national insurance, which I'm more than happy to pay because that goes towards me, goes towards my health medical. But I do pay dental, that's separate. But
well, dental's usually
which is fucking dental, and my mouth is still recovering. But the but, you know, if you need to apply for welfare on like unemployment or state benefits for housing and stuff, national insurance is supposed to, kind of pay for that, even though it's not like going to pay it off fully because not everyone can get a job straight away. But you're still guaranteed it because people pay into the system. Everyone does.
Just a good way to do it. I don't really like our health system. Speaking of not liking our health system, this is more of a question for Andrew. But so you know how Medicare, Medicaid, and all Social Security, all the stuff that kind of comes with coming past the bar of 55 or whatever.
Yeah.
Going by the social justice metric and how you have to, go by people's pronouns or whatever.
Uh-oh.
If I self-identify as 67 years old, do I qualify for those paid into benefits all the way until I really get to 67?
or if I self-identify as an 18-year-old male permanently, do I get to stay on my parents' health insurance forever? Or
why not?
Wasn't there that one guy that identified as like a 6-month-old girl or baby girl or something?
Don't. Okay, those covert gender freaks, they bother me. And there's one who lives down the street from my house, and he wears little, like, he's got a little boy propeller hat and like little fucking pony shorts and shit.
Dude, that hat is the coolest thing ever.
But not when it's on a 6'7" dude who is saying he thinks he's 8, and he's like everybody who lives in my house stretched together, slapped in one outfit. He's like a movie prop.
I just want him to stand in the middle of a crowd and shout, "I am a massive jackass and I can fly."
Yeah. With our health system, there's if you talk to people who work in the field as opposed to people who don't work in the field or are politicians, there are problems with it. My aunt works in the dental industry, and she's seen so many abuses of Medicaid or Medicare. I forget whichever one's for poor people, not old people. It's just really, really, really bad. And even doctors, like dentist doctors, can have their kids on Medicare.
Right on.
No. You make enough money. You can afford your own insurance instead of having to get it from the state.
See, this is why I said in that video, I'm not. It's a very complicated. It is complicated for me, certainly, because I don't know anything about your system past the fact that you guys use health insurance, which we don't.
Privatized health insurance, might you add?
And I think that is really interesting. I might look into it, but I don't think I'll make a video on it. Fuck.
Good luck.
It involves so much effort, and I still haven't finished making anything on that BBC TV license.
It would take a while for you.
I will hit the unsubscribe button so fast.
Yeah, I've already unsubscribed myself. It's fine.
I'll start saying stuff like, "Shut up, Brit fag! I don't want to hear your shit."
Yeah, I'm so boring. Fuck it.
Yeah.
That that nasal drone of yours. You sound so superior over there. So what if I have to pay?
You have no idea. I say that knowing that if I go to the doctor's tomorrow, not only will I get an appointment, but I get everything for free.
Well, how long do you have to wait for appointments when you go?
If you call really early in the morning, you could probably get a walk-in appointment on the same day.
I mean, you still have. Well, some people still have to pay for prescriptions.
Oh yeah. I mean, I do.
Ooh, those are fun.
prescriptions,
It's like $12.
but there are circumstances like if you're on state benefits, it's free. If you're a child, free. Pensioner, I think pensioners get it for free as well.
Mine are free as well.
Students as well, like further education students at uni, essentially, they get it for free as well. I know this because I abuse the fuck out of that.
I think the other reason is if you're on any kind of long-term hormone, and if you're diabetic as well.
Yeah, I think those fall under like a. I think they kind of put them into the disability bracket loosely.
It's kind of. It's the same but separate. I know all this because I had to fill in exemption certificates and all of that. It make it easy.
I once, when I was 23, I had to have some dental work. I broke a tooth near the wisdom on one side of my mouth, and yeah, well, I didn't notice because I got a free prescription of painkillers. They were fantastic. On the day I went to the dentist to have the tooth fixed, I took a few, and I went in exceptionally high. I didn't feel a thing, but apparently, I fell asleep mid-surgery and started dribbling all over the chair because I completely blacked out from how high I was. I was so happy. Yeah, well, that was probably the best night's sleep I've ever had.
Yeah, opiates will do that to you.
Oh, that's so good.
Yeah, I had to get all 4 of my wisdom teeth removed at once because they were all impacted.
Oh, Sugar Tits asked me to do a guest video for her, because she and I had dental work around the same time. I told her when she was near to making a video again, she was sort of about to start recording, and I suggested doing what I did, because I was able to fit a small amount of cotton between the gap between 2 teeth at the back to stop my gum from my cheek from making a loose sound in the background, or she called it flappy. But she tried it, and it did, and she just sounded like she had a massive cock in her mouth. And then she pointed out to me how small her mouth was, and I was like, right, I get it now. A tiny Asian girl with a tiny mouth. I get it. Okay. Yeah, that's right. Sexual. I know.
It's great.
And she recorded it right at the start of her video and inserted it in there solely because of me. I was so happy. With her sounding like her mouth was just full of dick. Oh yeah, that was hot.
What?
What?
I don't know if there's
does the guy you linked an article to, right? The 52-year-old guy leaves his kids and lives as a transgender 6-year-old girl named whatever.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. Yeah.
If he lives as a 6-year-old girl, does he have to then go to work or school? And if he goes to school, are the parents happy with it? Are the school willing to accept him, along with all the many adult-related issues, medical ones he's going to have? Like, I don't know, a dicky knee.
And then imagine if he identified as a different race too, then he'd be trans, age, race, gender.
I want to know, right? If Stephanie goes to school, the 6-year-old goes to school and forgets her PE kit, does Stephanie have to do it in her underwear like I had to if I ever forgot my PE kit? Because I don't think the kids want to see a 52-year-old man in his tidy whities with a massive bulge.
What if he doesn't have underwear?
Oh God!
We don't need to know that.
Just put right on his shaft. I'm trans.
Yeah, but
see if anyone notices.
Have a staff member initial it to make sure it's clear.
Oh God! Oh dear.
I mean,
I just want to know what legal precedent is set for a 52-year-old starting a life as a 6-year-old girl, and who looks after this 6-year-old girl?
Well,
And if they're older than him and are like an adult, and they start a relationship with the 6-year-old, are they a pedophile or pedophile?
Like, that guy has mental problems. They need to get fixed.
I saw there was an interview with him on, I think it was on This Morning or something, like by satellite link a few months ago, and they were kind of talking to him, and like you could see they were like, we don't really know what to make of this guy.
I don't think anybody would.
I genuinely don't get it.
But this is at like 11 o'clock in the morning as well.
Yeah,
people are about to have lunch and they're gonna watch that shit.
Oh.
Oh, it's disturbing.
He's one self-descriptor away from being a Tumblr hero. So
Fuck Tumblr.
Very true.
Fuck Tumblr.
Tumblr can die.
And so many people share. Oh, because I still have a timeline because I haven't blocked everybody on my friends list yet. People just share shit from there all the time. I'm like, you realize those arguments are invalid or those arguments are wrong because it has to typically deal with social justice bullshit. Like, stop. I have blocked quite a few people on Facebook, or just unsubscribed from them, rather.
Yeah, I don't really block.
It's just too much cancer. Yeah, or unsubscribe or mute or whatever.
Yeah, it's a lot
Oh,
easier.
I only ever blocked one person. That was because she was Leo Cuckoo.
Oh, really?
She wanted to go out with me. I did not want to go out with her. She started spreading shit about me behind my back. And
Well, that's how you handle rejection.
Yeah, no, I don't know why. She for some reason she was into me, and she was also one of these. She was. We think she's gender fluid, so I was like, I'm not gonna deal with that.
Yeah, the reason is probably hormones. That's normally the answer.
Yeah.
Gender fluid. One day you go to bed with a girl, and next you wake up next to a dude.
Right, because it was. She was crazy.
Oh, that's what we can talk about.
And I was also in she was in the chapter at my co-ed fraternity, and she was previously she got elected to the position that I held previously, and I was helping her with the job and stuff and telling her what to do and gave her the binder for transition and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And she wasn't doing some things that I told her to do. So like a few weeks later, I said, hey, you still hadn't sent out this thing that we were supposed to all look at and all that other stuff. And she wasn't very happy. So I got accused of being a sexist because I told a woman how to do her job.
Well, of course, you mansplained it to her.
Pretty much. I was just like,
Disgusting
no,
misogynist.
you were supposed to send out our chapter bylaws after we amended them like a month ago. No.
Special.
No, it was completely fucked up. That caused so much headaches for me.
So did anybody see Onision's little blow up after the bombing about how,
Somebody did a response to it.
Oh, so many people have done responses to that.
I hadn't noticed. I don't even know what
I can't remember
said.
whose I watched.
What did Onision say?
He smiled way too much in that.
he went on Twitter and basically he said that we shouldn't care about these white people getting blown up because of X reasons, social injustice, etc. Basically, he was
more
just
people die of cancer every year or something.
So essentially, Onision did what Onision normally does. He's done it before, in fact, when there's been some tragedy, and he then went off the rails about X tragedies and blah blah blah. He's done it a few times, in fact.
Because he knows it will get him views and make him money.
And relevant.
fucking cunt.
Hey, honestly, even like Bering said, if you could get away with making the amount of money he makes a year doing what he does, would you actually do it? And I probably would, but I know I can't.
I don't know. I was gonna say I don't have the stomach for it. I'd have a hard time looking myself in the mirror. That and calling my girlfriend.
I don't have mirrors in this house. It's okay. I know it's a figure of speech, but there are no mirrors. It's okay. I just cry into a pillow.
Yeah, but is it cock shaped? Because I think his is.
I think his whole bed is cock shaped, and in the morning when he wakes up, he licks the tip of his bed.
Oh baby.
Oh, because it'd be flavored with beer, it'd be salty. Is that what you're getting at?
Yes.
So salty.
Salty salt.
If he could, he'd pass his ass cheeks and try very hard to take his bed in deep. His cock bed. A few years back, I was looking for a new bed, and in a recommended, there was a right. I never bought one in that though. And in the recommended, was a Snorlax bed.
Oh.
And I was like, you get the body and the hands and the feet are attached by Velcro, and you can take them off and use them as pillows at the top with the head. And you fill the body up with beans or with like memory foam or something.
Oh, I didn't know that existed. I know there's a Tortoro one I've seen. I didn't know there was Snorlax though. I need that in my
Snorlax. I looked at it and I was like, I could totally sleep on Snorlax.
I would only do that if I had an alarm clock that sounded like the Poke Flute.
I'd never wake up. I don't think I'd ever wake up.
Well, you have to. It's part of the game.
I'd probably slowly start to morph into Snorlax over time.
As long as you don't play Lavender Town.
Yeah. I'd probably sleep on Snorlax in a Snorlax onesie.
Snorlaxception.
2 Snorlaxes on one bed. Are they mating? What the fuck's going on here?
Oh, I knew you could get more than one. I'm glad this game came out.
Amazing.
Well, I've got to head off, so.
Okay. Well, actually, we can end it here then. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bye all.
Well, all right. We'll talk.